Hey everybody, it's John again from Gasper's Automotive Restoration, and today we've got another video for you working on this 1952 Chevrolet Firetruck, originally from Grafton, Massachusetts. It's privately owned right now by a gentleman in Maryland, and we're going to be working on this, ripping it apart, which you can see we've already ripped a lot of it apart, but we're going to be doing all the mechanicals on this truck. We're going to be doing the patina on this thing. I'll explain that later, so stay tuned. We're going to do a quick walk around here of what we're doing. Obviously we've ripped the front end of this, the front clip off this truck, and this engine might look terrible, and it kind of does, but all this is grease from all the years of leaking gaskets and stuff. This is not in bad condition at all. This engine only has 12,000 miles on it. It runs like a clock. I've had this engine running for about 20 minutes before we took the whole truck apart. It runs great. It ran cool. The carburetor needs to be redone. We sent that out. Various other things need to be rebuilt, the starter motor, things like that. But the guts of this engine are totally fine. There's nothing wrong with any of this stuff. We've gone through and changed the oil lines here for the oil filter. We did that the other day while we had a few extra minutes, so we cleaned out this, put a brand new filter in. And we pulled the front clip off because we needed to fix this rust in here. And the cab is in really good shape. The doors, the cab corners, but the front part here got salt in here. It just ate away everything. So this is what Drew is working on. He's going to be rebuilding this. We're going to see on the other side in a little bit. You'll see him in action. He's already removed this panel here, and he's going to be replacing this and a bunch of the metal that relates. On the steel, I have to cut them off on the shear over there, so I'm going to cut this in like one smaller space, and then I'm going to use the hand shear to actually get these contours close. So we're going to use the stomp shear here to just cut my piece a little bit smaller and make it a little bit more manageable to work. Now we're going to go over to the hand shear and start getting a little bit tighter contours. Okay, so we're going to just start getting this kind of close. It'll just make it a lot easier to work. It's kind of a trial and error. You just kind of keep cutting and cutting around the line, and then you start fitting it to the cab. And the hand shear really does a good job. You can do angles with it. Just kind of do multiple cuts here, and you can see it's following. I'm just kind of following the line that I traced off my paper template, and I'll just go as until the end here. Then I'll have to cut this section out, and then same thing over here. All right, so that's the beginning of that one. Now, gotta be careful how you make your cuts, because this side of the cutter will bend, so you always want to keep, I try to cut on the outside, and that keeps this piece nice and straight, because it does tend to curl it over like that. All right, so we got that separated. You can see how it kind of distorts it if you don't cut it on the correct side. And these inside angles are a lot harder to do with this, so I'll have to do that most likely by hand with a cutoff wheel.
got those two cut out. Now we have to go to the truck and start cutting out pieces on the truck. You see, that's pretty rotted. A couple holes through it, and it's flimsy. So it's got to be replaced. New piece here, which we'll have to probably trim to make it fit a little bit better. You always want to make your panel bigger to start, and then you can cut it down to fit where you need to go, because you can't really, you can add metal on, but it's a lot easier to just cut more metal off. So, just gonna go over there real quick, trim that, and I'll be right back. Looks like I'm gonna have to. This has a slight roll in the firewall here, so that's pretty easy to do, just with a corner of a vise, and I usually just kind of try to roll it over that. We have an anvil as well, so you take a hammer, you hit the edge here, and it'll start rolling it around. And that's, you want the panel to fit perfect, because if it doesn't fit and you have to manipulate it, it can warp the panels more. So you want it to basically fall right in place, and then you want a little bit of a gap in between the panel and the old material to allow the weld to get in there. So we're real close to tacking this in place. I just need to make a couple more minor adjustments. I'm going to take a grinder and just kind of get this edge a little bit tighter. I need to remove some material off this radius here. I like to do it in my hand. I feel very comfortable with the tools I've used. Some people put it in a vise, that's fine too. You know, whatever works for you guys. You can see it's starting to get close. So I'm gonna start taking a little bit off of this, just because we're about the right radius. I just want to make that gap a little bit tighter. Pretty close. We got a little bit bigger of a gap on one end than the other, but as long as there's a gap there, that's fine. We can fill that with weld, no problem. Okay, so that's pretty close there. Have to put that bend in this panel. So you can pretty much do this with anything you have. If you have something solid, an anvil works really well. The edge of a vise works really well. They do make a tool to roll the edge, but it's such a minute bend that I have to do that I'm just going to do it by hand and just kind of check it. And it doesn't take much. 18 gauge, you can see it's starting to turn already. 18 gauge is really easy to work with. Kind of does what you want it to do. And just a couple taps of a hammer, you can see it's starting to roll over already. So I'm going to do that a little bit more, and then we'll go check it on the panel and see where we are. Okay. I'm just going to go test fit this real quick. And also, when you're doing a patch panel like this, you have to clean any of this painted portion to get a good weld. You want this down to bare metal, nice shiny bright metal. So we're going to do that now and prep this area here. We're trying to keep as much of the patina on the truck as possible, but we still had to fix all this rot here. So we're going to do that right now. We got our grinder, our safety glasses. So for our welder, you obviously have to have the ground on good clean metal, and that allows the electricity to flow and for you to get a good weld. So make sure if you're welding, you have the proper gloves. Got to ground this on the sheet metal here, and don't look at the weld. That's why we use a welding mask. So I'm just going to tack it in place right now, just to make sure everything fits. So line it up, and if you tack it in place, it's easier to move it if it, you have to correct it. So sometimes it helps to have a magnet to hold everything in place. Depends on the situation. Sometimes you can get a magnet where you want it, sometimes you can't. So every situation is a little bit different. It's pretty close. You always want to check and see your flush on the panels. That'll make your cleanup a lot faster. Alright, so we got one good tack in place here. I want to verify it's nice and flush up top here. Panel will move a little bit if you don't have it secured. So just got to correct it, very minor corrections, and then just you don't want to build up a lot of heat in one area, so you want to tack it up top, go down the bottom, and just kind of work your way around. We're just going to tack it in place for now. I still have to cut this other panel out and fit another panel in there. So we're just going to get it to where it sits right, it's flat, and then we'll keep working. Now you might find when you start welding a panel in that it moves. What I do, I just cut it in place, cut your gap open a little bit, and that makes it so you can just keep welding. I'm going to tack it one more time here, and then we'll open up the gap for the bottom piece. Okay, so we got it tacked in 4 places, and it's very tight here. So if you were to weld this, it's most likely going to kind of like bend in like that. So if you give it a gap, it'll actually allow it to kind of flex and come back once it cools off. Nice and flat, nice and flush. So all we have to do is go around this whole thing. Keep an eye on your heat levels. Keep the welder kind of low, and that'll keep it from overheating the panel and warping the panel. So I'm going to do a couple more tacks here, and I'm going to start working on the other piece that we cut out. So basically, to get this to completely welded in, you just keep working your way around it. Like I said, for now, we're going to leave this piece as is. We're going to move on to the next piece. You can see it follows this line nice. And what we'll end up doing, we'll have this piece here. This is the piece that's going to go here. And this is going to act as the flange for the new kick panel on the inside of the cab. So basically, this is the flange that will spot weld the inner panel onto. Something like that. We got to cut all this old rotted metal out first. And there's also a piece here. So I'll probably do another piece out of this top portion. And we also need to fix this piece here. So it's kind of a tedious process, but take your time, and this is now a solid piece of metal. We will have to drill a hole for the heater hose, and it'll come out nice.
Here at the shop. Here's what the cab corner looks like after he got done.
He made all these panels, including this kick panel right here with the bead roll on it. Yes, we have a bead roller and we do that. And it had that bead just like that. So that looks really, really nice. The welding you completed?
So we have some rotted out kick panels on both sides. So what I did, took some new flat sheet metal and rolled some beads in it to make it exactly how the originals were. So we welded those in place, and we also had to do some inner structure and some outer structure to mount the fenders, and also on the top of the cowl here.
And we're gonna test fit the front clip and drill those holes, right?
Yep, we're gonna do that because the inner fenders also had some rot on them, so I gotta fix those. And then we'll have a nice mating surface here so it's nice and solid again. And we're also doing the floor pans in the front. We can see that over here. New floor pans and a couple floor patches in the front here. Still got to do some grinding and finishing. I still got to weld in the passenger side fully, but we used new floor braces and we sectioned into the good section of the floor. We removed all the rotted section of the floor.
Yeah, it looks really good. There was some extra rot up here, the kick panel. Can we even get these kick panels for these trucks, I think?
I don't believe so.
No? Okay. So you can get the floor, but we're not sure about the kick panel. We also have this plate here, which is right here. This is brand new off the shelf. It fit really nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me go around the other side and show you the other side. And here's the other side. It came out really nice.
It's got to come down a little bit when I fully weld it in, and then it'll be nice and flush with the floor. And it'll be good to go. Brand new solid floor again.